Hello, sunrays and moonbeams. It has been a hot ass minute. I'm gonna jump right into this because it's just a one off reading. It's not a big card. It's not gonna resonate with everyone, but I really felt called to at least do this one. um, I'll be starting on pick a cards again very soon, but wanted to at least get this message out. So let's dive right in. I can see that there is a situation here where someone is feeling overwhelmed with anxieties, dealing with control issues. I feel like if this is you, I mean, by the time we get through the reading, it'll be one of those things where you'll know by the title if this is possibly your situation. But I'm getting this feeling with that box card coming out that you feel very limited in what you can do. It feels like you're stuck in a certain energy of rigidity, and maybe you're not quite sure how to break out of this. I feel like there's a lot of expectations around you, um, to act in a specific way, and I feel like it's coming from all sorts of fronts. Like, I'm seeing family, I'm seeing in the workplace, I'm seeing in like other relationships. There's just an overwhelming feeling of like having to show up and be and do, and you're really just feeling like confined to this energy. I feel that there's something about the situation where your intuition may be telling you that there is something. Excuse my cats. um, cut it out. We're not doing that. Excuse me. Mm-mm. No, no fighting. We take everything as a sign here. So maybe there are fights that are happening. Maybe there's a lot of discord. There's this feeling of like even just being up in the clouds. The clouds can also talk about like being on the up and up, and rising above your situation. And maybe this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to rise above whatever's happening here, and it does feel pretty intense. I feel like you're putting on these faces of like, yes, I'm a winner, yes, I'm cute, or yes, I'm doing, yes, I'm working, yes, I'm here. But it really feels like you're maybe just doing this out of like looking for external validation rather than focusing that energy inward. There's a need here for balance. We do have the balance card with the Libra symbol on it, so you could be a Libra, but you don't have to be. We also have the two dolphins kind of swirling around each other, so maybe Pisces or some kind of water sign energy. But again, only take that if it resonates for you and your situation. Um, if it doesn't, but everything else is applying, then continue to let it apply. um, but yeah, it feels like it's an overall really shitty situation, and I want to say like I'm sorry because it feels like you're distracting yourself with work, or maybe this is just what that energy is. It's like you're in this box of like work, 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 and do, and put on this face and wear this hat and show up this way. Um, first, maybe for someone, I'm even hearing like you have to wear this or wear that. Maybe it's something as simple as like a work uniform, but maybe it's something a little more complex where you have to look and dress a certain way. I'm hearing like not below your station. Um, so maybe there could be some like very heavy familial expectations, uh, or just something here about your overall image that's being highlighted. It feels like intuitively like you're connecting to your spiritual body, and you want to deepen that connection. I'm seeing like red string of fate. So maybe you feel energetically tied to something, you're tied to a specific direction and you want to move into it, but you're not quite sure how. Throughout all of the anxious thoughts that you're having around, I would say just life in general, it seems like there's a very cautious energy that you're taking in how you're approaching the next few steps forward for you. Hmm. I want to see MP3 downloads. I feel like I might be missing something here. Not me opening up to the exact page. Rebel, outlaw, disloyal. Yeah, ooh. Black sheep of the family. I mean, I hate using that term because we're very inclusive here and we love brown people. We love all black and brown people. Um, but there's something about you maybe even being like scapegoated and just in many aspects of your own life. Maybe you've been in situations where you've kind of had to take the fall for other people. I'm seeing like court and legal things. There's definitely an energy here of like your intuition's kind of telling you like, hey, if you move in this direction, you could have a lot of success, or like maybe this is about leaving a career or breaking away from certain some of these limitations here. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna pull. Let's read from the box a little bit. I do want to say also in this deck specifically, I usually don't plug decks, but this one is the that's upside down, the wild unknown archetypes, and the breakdown for these cards. There's like the personas, I think, or the selves, the tools, the places, and this is a place. So I feel like there's an energy here of you, your I don't see you operating out of an energy that's very self oriented because your main energy didn't come up as a self card. It came up as a place. And so I feel like you're really being led and being drawn and being moved by your situation or situations, because I do feel like there's a lot of different things that are going on here. We have a couple of cards here that signify things like anxieties, and so I feel like there's, yeah. Let's look at the page for the box. Focus, focus. We have page 151. So yeah, definitely a lot of like in the number 151 I'm seeing a lot of self energy, and like you want there to be an energy of self, but maybe it feels selfish. But is it selfish or is it self-full? There's a lot of change, a lot of conflict. There's like change is uncomfortable, right? And I don't want to be that person that tells you all of the, cliche things that people typically say. Um, but with that number five, we have like this feeling of like chaotic change. So we have the cage, the rules, the norm. We all live to some degree within the confines of the box. This archetype represents everything that is known, anticipated, and expected. It holds us in place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. It is built of layer upon layer of social constructs and pressures. Breaking through it requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well paying but heartless job, the pressure to look or behave like others, or simply stay small. There is a box around you now, made of some type of confining thought. There were my cats again, damn. They're usually not this bad. I know not much time has passed for you, but just know that that was weird and intense. My cats often can play a little too rough with each other sometimes, but they're never as bad as they seem to be now. So I'm wondering what's going on with this energy, because it does feel like um a very catty energy for sure. Where were we? The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will present itself to you. Keep going, break through. An exquisite life requires it. Structure, order, coherence. but also when dark, limitation, rigidity, judgment, and fear. Yeah, and I feel like you're in this place that's just like you're doing so much, and again there's like all these different layers and complexities to the path that you're on currently. And I feel like because it's like a lot of people are involved, or there are a lot of energies tied to you, and maybe even these red strings of fate, it could be that you have all these karmic ties around you where you're not sure how to let go of some of these people, some of these places, maybe even some of these things. For someone, I'm feeling like maybe you have like things that belong to someone else, or things that were given to you by someone who's no longer in your life, or whose energy you need to separate from. Yeah, I'm really being drawn now to this light that's like kind of just inside here, with all of these layers and layers and lines of just confinement, like really locking them in. Hmm. All right. If that feels like it is resonating, like if it is your situation, then stay right here. I'm going to cleanse the energy real quick, and we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. And we're back. So, we're going to take a look at a lot of things. Let's look at why this is happening. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Five of Wands. Let's see, clarify. Wheel of Fortune. Messages are coming out strong. What about you? Where do you want to go? Over here. There's the anxiety. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Cups. I like to call the bottom of the deck your big deck energy because it sets the tone for your reading. If you're new here, that was your little go-to. If you've been here for a while, I'm pretty sure you were waiting for it. Let's see, is that all showing? I think it's all showing. No, it's good enough for now. All right. As Cardi B would say, what was the reason? So, I want to preface this by saying, like, you definitely don't deserve any of the shitty things that are happening to you. And it's funny because, like, a lot of the smoke was just like being held in my mouth for that. I exhaled, but it didn't come out all the way until I started talking. Um, so I feel like, yeah, there's something here about maybe even this being an activation for you. But again, you don't deserve any of the shitty things that are happening. And I want to say, like, I'm really sorry that there are shitty things that are happening to you, and that we live on this shitty plane that we live on, because like sometimes it's just like, what the fuck. um but let's see how we can find reason in this, right? Because I hate saying that everything happens for a reason, because no, sometimes the reason is that people are just really fucking shitty, or operating out of their own wounds, and intentionally or unintentionally hurting us and driving us wild. So it's about us finding reason and everything that we're going through to be able to press on. I want you to hold on to that, because it feels like this time is meant to be an activation for you. I do see that there's something here about you connecting to your ability to speak up and your ability to communicate, but from a place of respecting your own emotions. I feel like in the past, maybe you weren't allowed to show emotion, or like, I'm getting vibes of like suck it up, um, which is really shitty. But know that you're not alone in this. Like, there's a large part of the population that was brought up on this idea of, you suck it up. Um, but I feel like for you, how that's manifested now in your present life is that you're operating from a place of wanting to do the right thing, or be a good person, I'm feeling like a whole bunch of titles are coming through, like, you know, be a good sibling, be a good spouse, be a good child, be a good parent. You know, there's all of these different expectations that I'm picking up on from that box energy that are really coming through here now. And it feels like this is meant to be a period of growth because we can't change without, you know, or we can't grow without change. If you think about an acorn, my daughter has this one book that she like absolutely loves, and it's called Acorn Was a Little Wild. And it's about this little acorn who he's a little wild. And he goes on and does all this exploring, and then all of a sudden he gets like shoved in the ground by the squirrel, and he's just stuck in this place of nothingness. And um, he has a lot of time to just sit and think. And you know, eventually like some worms come around, and he starts to get comfortable with his surroundings and where this, you know, darkness has really brought him. And then suddenly he starts feeling the need to push and push and push. And then suddenly he sprouts, and he's above ground now, but he's a little sproutling. And in the end of the book, he grows into this giant oak tree. And one of the things that they say is that like, and he never told other acorns not to, you know, fly off the tree, or like, you know, basically the oak that he flew off from, it kind of was like putting fear into him about like his desire to break free and roll around in the open air. And um, you know, he never did that to any of the little acorns that he birthed as this giant oak. And he kept his little wild side, and he, you know, played little tricks on the foxes that would pee on him. He'd like drop a branch on their head. It's a really cute book, but you know, it brings me to this, you know, whole thing of like thinking about acorn. And you are that little acorn. I just want you to know I love you, little acorn. And I'm sorry that people in your past have maybe put fear into you about being your own person. And so now you're reliant on how you show up for others to be this, like, to be your personality. You are so much more than what you can do for other people and what you can offer other people. hmm I feel like there's somewhere deep inside of you, you know what you want to do, but I think that your own desires are covered under all those layers of the box, right? And it's hidden under these desires to be a good person and how you show up for the people that you care about. But I feel like you're also maybe holding back some of the people that you care about by not allowing them to grow and do an experience on their own. There's something here about you expanding your emotional maturity as well. And I'm not saying that, you know, like you're emotionally immature, and this is not meant to put you down in any type of way, but it feels like an expansion of something that's already there. And it's interesting because we have the six of pentacles here. um in this deck specifically, I have all the cards upright. I've been reading so much of the energy backward forwards. I'm not really doing reversals too much in my practice, and not for any specific reason. I don't think that there's anything good, inherently good or bad about reversals. It's just more about the way that I've been reading lately. And so for me, oftentimes in the past, I would read the Six of Pentacles in the reverse as a need to be selfish. Um, and I feel like the fact that we had the Nine of Swords come out, and the in the challenge position, the sideways position, over oh my god, over underneath, over top of the Six of Pentacles, really feels like I can see that a lot of this is about helping you to expand and move away from this idea that being selfish or self-full is a bad thing, or that you can't have this, that you have to constantly give it to another person. Yeah, I'm even like, I'm almost seeing it as even like, you know, you get something and you almost immediately think of like how you can share it with others, or what you can do to um, like help grow whatever you have immediately so that you'll be able to bless other people in your life. And I feel that spirit really wants you to be able to pour into yourself, and to break away from that anxiety of like, oh, if I do this one thing for myself, like it's selfish, I could be doing XYZ for this person instead. Hmm. And it's interesting because like your big deck energy is like super friendship, like um maybe you've had it rough, like growing up in terms of making friends and things like that. And maybe the universe is, I don't even want to say the universe, maybe life has just put you in a bunch of these positions where you've had to make this decision before, and you've chosen yourself in the past and it didn't turn out well for another person. But if somebody really loves you, then they kind of have to understand you taking time and space for yourself, especially to make sure that you're well enough. I feel like maybe for some of you here that this is something that's impacting your health. Yeah. Like you got to make sure that you're right? Let's see what else we can see. Where do we go from here? I want to see what the hidden influences are. Take a quick peek. No, they're hidden, all right. We have the Nine of Pentacles. I wanted to come out in the reverse, even though we're not doing reversals. I'll make a note of that. You have the King of Wands. Take this one. You have the Seven of Pentacles in the upright. And then we have Big Deck Energy is the Six of Cups. So, in terms of hidden influences, I can see that there is. This is really specific for somebody. I feel like if this is your message, you will definitely know. If it's something that you don't know, then by all means, please, don't feel pressure to take a message that doesn't resonate. Or like, I'm not out here trying to like freak people out. So if you know, you know. If you don't know, then it's probably not your message. But I feel like for some, there's somebody did something, they put something together, some kind of spell, and buried it, something about it near a tree. Um, and so you're gonna have to find out how to undo all this. We'll get advice and we'll get like what you can do about the situation after this part. I just wanted to see hidden influences, and it's kind of funny because like if this is your message, this absolutely needed to come out, because I was about to just jump and be like, yeah, okay, let's see what you can do about it. But I felt like there was just something. And it's interesting, right? Because when I was shuffling, I was like, oh yeah, it's really hidden. And I think about like, yeah, I don't know, like maybe somebody put a jar together and they right underneath the tree and buried it deep. Um, and I want to say that if the spell work in that aspect is something that you're aware of and you resonate with, like this message specifically, knowing that placing any type of spell work, by any type of plant that has the ability to grow will also kind of like intensify the hold that it has. Because as this thing grows, the energy of the growth also kind of latches onto that. So if this is something that you resonate with and this is something that's within your practice, just take this as your confirmation that somebody is doing something against you. Um, or maybe this is something that happened to an ancestor of yours. Could be direct, could be, like immediate family, could be something completely different. If you don't resonate with that message, then I do feel that this is something in terms of a masculine energy for sure. It could be a masculine fire sign, because we do have the Father of Wands, so that would be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Um, But there's definitely a masculine energy that's presented itself and is, putting these blocks in your way. And on a subconscious level, they want to see you move backward. It's like you're supposed to be in an energy of receiving. You're supposed to be in an energy of um, harvesting, the fruits of your labor. But it feels like they're impinging on this to set you back into a place of needing to grow, needing to put time and effort and energy still. Where I feel like you're not supposed to be at the Seven of Pentacles. Um, I feel like you've been at the Seven of Pentacles, you've been at the Eight of Pentacles, that hard work and refining of a skill set, or you know, just really putting dedication into something, then you should be receiving, you should be reaping the benefits. Um, excuse me, no, these cats, man, yeah. Woosah. I have to pull out the big guns to cleanse this energy, because damn, what are y'all dealing with? This feels like a really strong tie. Yeah, for some of you, it could even be your father, because in this deck we have the court cards are listed as like mother, father, son, daughter. Um, so it could be a father figure. It could just be an authoritative male figure in your life. This could be a boss. We have the nine. Like, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in the Nine of Pentacles. You're supposed to. What's the Nine of Pentacles in this deck? Hold on. I feel like there's something specific in the verbiage here. Happy, healthy home. Always a welcome card. The Nine of Pentacles is a time to enjoy the many results of your loyalty and hard work. This may be a promotion at work or newfound stability and happiness at home. It's even possible that you'll find yourself enjoying the finer things in life, as luxury and refinement oftentimes accompany this card. Exactly. Like, you're supposed to be in this Nine of Pentacles energy with this person, and their shitty ass vibes, if I'm being honest. They want you to be in this Seven of Pentacles, and like, I want to say, and this one I think is like specifically perseverance. Yeah, a period of contemplation. Yeah, a curious card. It's like contemplation, uncertainty. Yeah, this person wants like you to be confused. Shouldn't you be reaping more rewards by now? Maybe so, but the mind has control over perception. Yeah, this person's playing mind games with you and like really just getting in there and fucking with you. And maybe that's also part of what it is. Maybe it's like some kind of spell working against the masculine energy in your family. I do also want to say, okay, that's a lot. I do want to say that it could, yeah. I'm also getting something specific now. There's an energy of like in your lineage, like I don't think that um, we had Combi and we had Saffron in the beginning, right? And so I feel like, no offense to anybody and where you come from, but I feel like there's a certain level of like your ancestry being, like rooted in some kind of indigenous culture. And so you have to also take this into account, especially if, and like, I'm not putting down anybody's religious, beliefs or anything like that. But for a lot of the indigenous practices, through colonization, they were deemed as like barbaric, and a lot of people were converted into Christianity. So it's likely that maybe even like Christianity and Catholicism. So maybe your country, hmm, take it if it resonates. Maybe um, the practices of your people, if you're from another country, the indigenous practices of your people, or the practices pre-colonization, were something a little bit more leaning toward like a metaphysical side, where things like um, spiritual practice regarding the elements of the earth, where it was something that was bigger. I'm getting like a mix of different energies. So it could be like Yoruba, it could be paganism, or saying like druids even. So take that out how it resonates, but it could be something that like happened within your lineage, hundreds of years ago. Um, and so this is just a cycle that's repeating itself, because I feel like there was meant to be this weight that was put on, maybe even Interesting. I don't typically read like, male, female. I read energies. So when I say masculine energy, it's simply about the energy, regardless of how you identify on a gender spectrum, or if you don't identify with the gender spectrum at all and you are non binary. Um, but there's something about the masculine energies and your family lineage that's coming through. Um, like I'm even drawn to the fact that like we've got this. I think this is a stork or a crane or something like that, and there's this fire that's underneath it, and it looks like through the tears, it's kind of like quelling this fire, but the tears are not enough to put out the fire that's here. Um, Also, if you know anything about fire safety, you know that water is not the way to necessarily go in terms of putting out certain things. Like if I'm seeing like throwing water on a candle, where it kind of just like sparks back up, and um, so like water is not really the way. Like you have to snuff out that type of fire. Water is not necessarily the best option for putting out that kind of fire. And so, whereas like there's something here about like your emotional body being stunted. hmm When really like you're meant to be having fun. You're meant to be experiencing community. You're meant to be meeting like-minded people that match your growth and your ascension. hmm All right. Let's see. As the landlord to my work building says, what you can do. It's more like a, oh, what can you do? But we're gonna see what can you do about it. You have the Ace of Swords. You have the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Eight of Swords. We're gonna need a clarifying roll. I think that's also part of it. Yeah, clarity. We need clarity. With the Mother of Wands. Interesting, because we had the Father of Wands come out. And you have the Four of Pentacles. Justice. Big deck energy is the Mother of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot of feminine energy here. So maybe the key is healing your feminine energy for sure. Because we did have like throughout the beginning of your reading, we had the Father of Cups, the Son of Cups, and we had the Father of Wands, and now we've got the feminine energies coming out: Mother of Wands, Mother of Pentacles. We got a lot of swords here. Now, I'm not a licensed clinician or anything to that extent, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But because of the amount of mental energy that's being expressed and expelled here, is that more in the frame? I don't know, y'all. I'm just winging it. The amount of like I'm seeing this is like even this is like your mind right now. It's like all these different threads, but like I'm seeing this is like times 1,000 with all the different threads. And I know I think I've mentioned this in another reading before, where it's like it's almost like all the wires are kind of just like crossed and jumbled, and you kind of need someone to help you like pull them apart. So I am the more I explore and the more I learn, the more I kind of move away from CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy. Um, I personally resonate a little bit more with like the internal family systems and um, other ways of kind of healing the mind. So I would say like definitely look into what you can do to help clear your mind space, because there's definitely a need for clarity. There's a need for you to be able to cut through um, the confusion that's been around you, cut through this web of like web of lies that's been spun around you about who you really are. Yeah, because like I'll be honest with you, from some of the energy that I'm picking up on in terms of like all that, like fighting and discourse and change and everything, it feels like you're really stepping away from a lot of patterns of like, yeah, like toxicity. I hate using words like that, but I feel like that's just the best way I can describe it. And so maybe in the past you've acted out of some of these energies, And because of that, it's put you in this place of like, maybe you feel like this is penance. Yeah, like you have to pay this price because of your past transgressions. But I feel like if there was anything, you paid the price a long time ago. Because I feel like you've been through some shit. And it's interesting because we've got a lot of eights here, and also the justice card typically is like the number 11, at least in, like the original Rider Waite tarot. It's the number 11. In some decks it is the number 8, and the strength card is number 11. And so this one specifically is the justice card is a number 8. So we've got 3 8s on the board. And so yeah, there's just this energy of like the cycles and going round and round and round, and it's time for you to cut through all of that. I feel like there's an essence here of you being able to nurture yourself and give yourself what maybe you never received as a child. And I think that through also having some of these experiences, it's going to help shift your perspective. Because I feel like, specifically for this group, or well, I say specifically this group, but this is just a one off, right? But specifically for this reading here, for whoever this is for, um, and no disrespect to other people who don't identify as like maybe book smart. Um, they identify as more street smart. I feel like maybe you're somewhere in the middle where you're like book smart and street smart, but like I get a really brainy vibe, um, from the energy that's here, and so you're a very smart person. I feel like maybe even you're a researcher. There's something about like, looking things up and wanting to gain more knowledge, and I believe that's also why you're here, right? You saw the title of this video, whatever the hell it's gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. Um, but you saw the title of this video and you felt called to it, right? It's all about perception. If we look at this card, I love how they depict the Eight of Swords in this one. The standard Rider Waite tarot. I feel like if I'm even going to refer to the imagery, though, we're going to talk about Pamela Coleman Smith. So, Miss Smith's original artwork depicts a person with a blindfold and like a loose bind around them, and they're surrounded by these swords, and it's like, the bind is kind of so loose that, like it would fall off, and that's where it's like holding you back. But this one here, we've got this butterfly, right? And we talked about that there's this like change, this transition, um this mutable energy that's around you. And so we've got that butterfly that looks like it's ready to open up its wings, but it's not quite opening up its wings because all these swords are around. But if we shift our perspective and we realize the size of a sword compared to the size of a butterfly cocoon, um, and we shift our perspective when we look at this card, we see that the cocoon is very far off, right? You see this little line right here? It's very far forward from all of these swords. And so there's, yeah, listening. It's all about shifting your perspective and realizing that, you do have to be away from these swords, yes, to open up your wings, um, but that you're really not as close to these swords as you think you are. Maybe this could be something that, if it is regarding like parents, maybe you have to remind yourself that you're not a child anymore. Um, and again, if you please only take that if you are actually not a child. I mean, I'm talking like your frontal lobe is developed. No disrespect if you're under the age of 25, but just know that this part of the message is not necessarily for anyone. I would say like under the age of 18. Um, you still kind of got to abide by what your parents do and say, according to the law, unless if you get an emancipation. But, I'm not here for those messages. I'm talking to adults, who do not live with their parents anymore and are still being held and bound by these cycles of sacrificing themselves and living for parents' approval when it's damn near impossible to get. There's something here about you holding very tightly to this idea that you have to be working, you have to work for love. That made me emotional. That one hit a chord with me too. Ooh. You don't have to work for love. You are lovable just the way you are. And maybe you're a little rough around the edges, but who isn't? Justice will be served in this situation. And the more you cut away these layers of the box, again, the more chaotic it does tend to get. And sometimes that's why you have to do a hard break before you can come back together with some of these people. I say, especially like, if it's family and things like that, and um, sometimes you gotta sever the ties all the way, um, in order to heal, because you can't heal in the same place you were broken. Um, and so, depending on how bad it is, you might have to distance yourself a lot more than maybe you initially planned. But until you start cutting away, you won't really see it. But I do feel that cutting away is also going to bring you more confidence, and like, it's going to be fucking hard. Believe me, I know firsthand, I know secondhand, I know the he said, she said. It's hard. It's hard. And anybody who tells you that it's an easy, oh, just find it within yourself and let the signs lead you, that's fucking bullshit. Um, I like to cater toward my community of people who are mentally broken, have been mentally broken, and are trying to recover from that. And so those messages do not apply to us because it's not that easy. Our brain chemistry is literally different from the people whose those messages are for. And like, no disrespect, but it's not a cookie cutter, not a cookie cutter healing. Um, so seek out the help that feels right for you. Do research on alternative types of therapy and see what calls to you and what resonates with you. If you feel that it could or that it should be cognitive behavioral therapy, then by all means go for it. Get a therapist, or a psychiatrist, whatever you feel that you need. If maybe you just need a spiritual person to talk to, find a mentor. Um, there are people out here for you, and if you call out that energy to the universe to send you a teacher, send you a way, send you the signs, then the universe will give you those little nudges on the direction that you need to go. And I feel like, based on the energy of the beginning of your reading, I feel that you've done this. And I think, yeah, coming back to, I'm remembering now, yeah, hmm in the beginning where we mentioned, um, that your intuition is trying to tell you certain things about, your path forward and the successes that you're gonna have. I'm being drawn. Where did I put it? I'm being drawn back to the saffron card. It's interesting. I didn't really say anything about it in the beginning, but saffron is like the most expensive. Like, if you know herbs and seasonings, you know how saffron is. Let's read from the book a little bit. It is literally like, it's a delicacy at this point, right? Abundance, success, value, yes. One of the most coveted, aromatic, and expensive spices in the world. It has a strong fragrance and an intense yellow color. It's a delicious flavor that serves as a hallmark of many iconic dishes. Isn't that amazing? Look at this. Also used in alternative healing for easing anxiety, depression, Alzheimer's, and menstrual cramps. You know what? I wonder if maybe this masculine energy also is going through a little brain death, right? A little atrophy in the mind. And maybe they're saying some really messed up things to you about the past, or maybe they're not remembering who you are, and they're triggering a lot of things. It's really hard, where's the class on like how to hide keys from your parents? How to hide alcohol from your parents. You know, like where are the classes on that? Because I think we need some of those, right? When you draw this card and see the festive red strands, view it as a sign that you are on your way to success. Yes. Why didn't I read this? Like, I was really drawn to like other aspects of the saffron in terms of like, relationships and life lessons, and even just the red that was coming out from it and the red strands of fate. But we're looking at these and shifting the perspective to see them as the festive red strands that are a sign that you are on your way to success. Mhm. Be wise with your money and temper excess. Yeah, so take that if it resonates. We did have a lot of Pentacle cards that came out, and so I didn't really touch too much on it. But for some, maybe this is also, with that like Nine of Pentacles versus the Seven of Pentacles. Maybe you're investing a lot of your money into, caring for this masculine. Again, take it if it resonates, or maybe you're just investing a lot of your own resources into helping others when you're cutting back on doing things for yourself. And you know uh, to a certain extent, it's a very noble thing to do, and especially for someone who is a parent, right? Like they help bring you up in this world. And you know it's it's tough because like not maybe not everyone deserves maybe not everyone deserves, but also like think about everybody else's karmic debts. And we did get that message of like maybe you're holding somebody back from having their own karma hit them. And I'm almost seeing it as like you're shielding someone who's literally like cursing you out, and you're like being stabbed in the back by like 100 different things. And you're just like telling them, come on, we got to do this or we got to do that. And they're like, you're this and you'll never be, and you were always, and speaking in hurtful infinitives, um or infinitives, whatever it is. Y'all, it's late. I've been going, but I feel like this is a message that needed to come out for somebody. You are on your way. You are definitely on your way to bigger and better. And not bigger, better, like, in a material sense, but just in terms of like your own alignment. I feel like you've done enough for other people. Now it's time for you to do you. Mother of Pentacles. I was gonna laugh if that was the Nine of Pentacles again. Remember to nurture yourself. Remember that you're. Oh gosh, this deck doesn't want to be used anymore. Where are we going? Let's grab from here. Um, don't even remember what I was saying. You fill in the blanks. Let's see how the universe is going to bring help for you. Baby. Oh, baby. We have the Ten of Cups. We have the Three of Cups. I gotta see how this is all gonna fit. I'm not confident. I want to leave the lamp here. It's the Nine of Pentacles. Accept and receive the abundance that is so rightly yours. Let's get another clarifying row. I wanted to come out in the reverse, but it's the World. The Chariot. Yes, go. Go get it. Ten of Swords. Alright. That calls for yep. Big deck energy is the Eight of Swords again. Synchronicities. Oh, you know what I'm hearing now? Oh, that's what's the song? It's a song. Oh my god, it's from a movie. It's like a kids movie. Bare necessities. It's the bare necessities. Does he say forget about your worries? Ooh, I gotta check that. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Thank you for bearing with me. Oh, yeah, forget about your worries and your strifes. I mean, the bare necessities, old mothers, nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Whenever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants, and then take a glance at the fancy ants, and maybe try a few, the bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Oh, I love that for you. Yes. It will literally, it will come to you. Just go get it. I will say this. I do feel that if you continue to stay, you're only going to continue to get hurt. Because we looked at like what's spirit bringing in. We got the 10 of cups. This is love and joy and fulfillment and harmony and happiness, and it's family, it's community. The 3 of cups is like siblinghood. It's fun. 9 of pentacles, it's reaping the benefits, reaping the seeds, the benefits. Oh my god, I can't even. Reaping the seeds that you've sown. um it's like, yeah, like, get it, do it, right? With the world card, I feel that it's coming, it's coming in for you, and I'll take this as your sign. After seeing this reading and, digesting it all, I feel that you're going to start to see those signs a little bit more. I'm going to put that energetic intention right now. For my lovely viewer, that they will receive the signs and synchronicities that they need to know that they are on the right path, that the doors will start to open a little bit more for you so that you will be able to really see and accept and receive the blessings that the divine has for you, that you would be able to move past the hurt and move past this energy of I have to take one for the team, and understand that you need to be able to give to yourself. I ask that you are shown the endless possibilities, and you're moving forward. Instantaneous. The divine is going to bring you some more situations where you are going to have to, ooh, baby, you're going to have to, you're going to have to cut. You're going to have to make the cut. It's going to hurt. It'll sting. Bow down and kiss on my ring. It's going to hurt. It'll sting. Spit in the blood in the sink. I'm crazy, but you like that. I'll buy you back daisies on your nightstand. Never forget a blossom in the moonlight. Screw eyes, glacial with the blue eyes. I'm terrified. I hope that wasn't enough to like get me hit with like any copyrights, anything. Um, I do not. That was not straight off the dome. That was not an original. I do not own any of that. Please don't let them come for me. Yeah, baby, it's gonna get a little ugly. It's gonna get a little ugly. You gotta move. You gotta leave. You gotta do something. You gotta put distance, because I feel like if you don't take now, it's gonna be taken from you, and we can't have that, right? You were meant to see this at the time that you're seeing this. The Hierophant now is your big deck energy. I feel like the divine really wants to bring you to a place of new possibilities. I'm seeing even like breaking traditions in order to create new. in order to have that stability for self and for whatever it is that you're trying to create for yourself. Because I feel like whatever the fuck the situation is, or these multiple situations, is really pulling on your ability to create for yourself. And I think maybe even part of you is afraid to create for yourself because you're just like you're so used to doing for other people that it's just become a part of you. And so it can be a very scary thing, but just know that it's time. It's time. The Hierophant brings forth of feelings of morality and being ethical. Think of this card as the older, wiser teacher or counselor who will mentor you along the way. It can be related to traditions and convention, learning and education, or mastering a certain area of your life. Yeah. Call in a teacher, call in a mentor, and I feel like you'll cross paths with somebody who's going to be perfect to kind of guide you through this and help you to really separate some of these energies from your own, um, just to help you think a little bit clearer. Like, I'm just hearing like offloading, right? I know I did the whole cute little thing in the beginning, and I was like, yeah, I'll cleanse the energy. I'll just pause it and then take the cards away. But this is the nitty gritty, right? Let's see what you can look forward to. I mean, we already had that saffron that came out, so like blessings, blessings on blessings, abundance, and not just in a material sense, but you have to be willing and open. Page of Wands. That's so funny because the Page of Wands was your big deck energy after I moved the Hierophant off, but I didn't want to talk about it because I felt like it wasn't time. And I was like, maybe it's not, maybe it's not something that we're supposed to talk about. But here she is. We'll get three more. Ten of Pentacles. I said it's not about money, and Spirit was like, no, but it's also kind of a little bit about money. Kind of a lot of bit about money. We have the Two of Pentacles. More Pentacles. I'm also not a financial advisor, so please use your discernment when making decisions on how you want to spend your time and money. Big deck energy is the Five of Pentacles. Underneath that is the Six of Pentacles. That is kind of hilarious. Yeah, and you saw like I put it down and like the five was like, all right. What you can look forward to. Listen, take this Five of Pentacles as the warning. I'm holding it up upside down again. Because the Five of Pentacles, it talks about loss, right? So I feel like the loss could be a lot greater if you don't use your discernment now and kind of separate yourself from this energy and get that person to talk to, call in that teacher, that mentor, that friend, whatever it is that you need, call them in, energetically, and I feel like the divine will send them to you. Also, as a side note, you ever just you have one of those feelings where like everything kind of just clicks real quick. So I'm gonna say something that's real specific. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. I say again, but that was my first time saying it in this reading specifically. If it don't apply, let it fly. But if you have called in a teacher and the divine has brought you a teacher, and then you shied away from them, just go back. If you feel like no, that was supposed to be the teacher, but you felt like you weren't necessarily ready, that's also okay. It's likely that whoever this person is, maybe life kind of took them in another direction, and I don't feel this is something where it's like no hard feelings. Um, when you're ready, you're ready. Right? Now I'm hearing that. If you ask me, I'm ready. What's that song? I'm gonna look it up. There's something there. I should go to bed. It's after midnight. I haven't been sleeping much lately, so Spirit was like, why don't you get your ass back in front of the little phone and start reading because people need these messages, right? If you ask me, I'm ready. What is that? Oh my god, I can't spell, y'all. Unthinkable by Alicia Keys. Ooh, okay, that's like a separate message. Ooh. Now I'm scared. Now I'm scared. I'll put my little rose quartz over here. Um, yeah. I'm gonna change up the lyrics a little bit so it fits a little more with the reading. But if you know the song, feel free to listen to it. It's "Unthinkable" by Alicia Keys. And so here's my version of the lyrics to make it fit your reading. If you do the unthinkable, would it make you look crazy or would it be so beautiful? Either way, I'm saying, if you ask me, I'm ready. So I feel like that's kind of like the universe stepping in to let you know that if you're ready, the universe is ready. If your teacher is, your mentor, if you ask them, they're ready. And, wondering if you do the unthinkable, would it make you look crazy or would it be so beautiful? Maybe a little bit of both. I'll be honest. Because I do a million things a day that I feel like, am I crazy? Or is this something so beautiful? Um, but yeah, there is going to be some kind of loss. There is going to be, this feeling of like needing to grieve. We're going to look, the chariot is in there. We're going to put it underneath the chariot. Yeah, put it with the 9 of Swords. Just stick some swords in that bitch. But I'm not speaking literally. Please don't go putting swords into people. I did not say that. Don't tell them the crazy tarot person on YouTube is like, oh, let's stick the swords in. No, don't, please don't do that. um, yeah. You're meant to be putting time and effort and energy into yourself, and I feel that the more you do that, the more you're going to see this balance come in, the more you're going to have these things happen where it's like you give yourself an inch and the universe might give you a mile. um I see a lot of opportunities for self-love and for nurturing. I do see also like feminine energy coming in to help you heal the feminine energy within you, because I think that in order to move out of a distorted masculine, you must move into a divine feminine, and then you can move into that divine masculine if that's so where you choose to put your energy. Um, Maybe you're wanting to be in a divine feminine energy rather than a divine masculine. I feel that we have both energies within us, and it's up to us to find that balance. We did also have balance come out in the first part of your reading. So yeah, we love how everything comes full circle. That Page of Wands tells me that you're meant to have exciting adventures. Like the Page of Wands is literally like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got no experience, but I know I'm trying to have a good time. And I've got all this fire and passion inside of me. And I want to make something beautiful, right? Or would it be so beautiful? With the Moon card, I feel like there's connection to the divine that's coming in a deeper way. Listen to your dreams, listen to your intuition. Know that your anxiety will oftentimes yell, your intuition will whisper. That 10 of Pentacles tells me that like wealth, also like material wealth, is coming in, or even just material stability. um but I'm also seeing like an element of like chosen family too. So maybe this is something where, you are breaking away from your parents because they don't necessarily agree with how you identify, and you know you're looking for that community. And so, maybe this is reaching out and connecting to people within like a queer community because your parents are not as accepting or not as open, and you want to be again around like-minded people. Maybe this is something where you grew up as one religion and you're looking into something that doesn't necessarily align with the religion that you were born into or that you were brought up in. um and so you're looking for people who resonate with the same ideologies that you feel drawn to or called to. That 2 of Pentacles also tells me that there is more balance needed from you that is going to be coming in. um Again, though, like I keep seeing, like there's these warnings because we've got this 10 of Wands. It's a lot. You're gonna have a lot on your hands coming in for you. And I'm seeing it as like, I mean, I don't know, even like right now, I got this cup of water in my hand, right? But if I wanted to pick something up, let's say this was my only hand, if I wanted to pick up like a crystal from up here, I can't, I could probably, let's see. Listen, I did it, but I'm not really holding onto this beautiful crystal. I'm holding so much onto this water, and my fingers are kind of giving out a little bit in this place, and I'm